Share with me, how was your weekend?
Well, my weekend was kind of okay. I got into like this really big fight with my friend, so it was like very explosive, and like I haven't talked to her like since Friday that we got into this fight.
Okay, so it seems you had a really rough weekend because you got into a fight with one of your friends
Yeah,
and you haven't talked to her.
no.
It was even explosive, you say?
Yeah, like we started yelling at each other because like she was coming to sleep over at my house.
Mm-hmm.
So like my parents were gonna pick us up from the nightclub, like everything was okay. And my parents like got there like at 3 in the morning, so I was like looking for her, like, okay, like we have to leave. And she was like, no, I don't want to leave. Like, tell your parents to go home. That will go later.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like very annoyed, and I was like, I can't tell my parents to like leave after like they've already woken up just to come pick us up, just because you want to like be a little brat and like stay here like for what, another half hour before they close. And she was like, oh, and then tell them like to wait for us until the club closes. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, they're my parents, so like we just started screaming at each other, and I like got very mad and just left her there.
Okay, so this happened when you were at the club?
Yeah, in the
In,
club.
okay, in the club?
Yeah.
In front of everyone?
Yep.
Okay. And did she say something else? Like, what happened after you got into this fight?
Like, I left her there and I went
You
home,
left her?
and
Okay.
she
And
stayed there.
okay. And have she spoken to you since that day?
Well, she texted me like on Sunday morning, but and she was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Like, I was drunk. Like, it was not like appropriate behavior."
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still like very mad at her, so I haven't responded to any of her messages.
Okay, so she has still like texted you.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been friends with her?
For like 8 years.
How has your relationship been with her?
Like, it's like this is the first like real fight we've ever had. We usually are like very in sync, like even if we're like drunk, we know like if they're coming to pick us up, we need to go home at this hour, and we normally don't get into fights. But like this was just like really explosive, and like I got very annoyed, and she was way drunker than I was, so I guess like I got madder than usual, especially because I was very worried about how mad my parents were gonna be at me because we were like taking a really long time to leave.
Okay, so it seems that it was very hard and tough experience for you because it's the first fight you've ever had with her.
Yeah.
So you haven't seen her, you haven't texted
No.
her.
I'm just like not really sure what I want to do about this situation. So like I'm not sure if I kind of want to be like, okay, it's okay, like it was just this one fight, or like how I want to handle the situation, because I feel like if it were to happen again, like I'm not gonna tolerate that.
Okay, so what would happen if you tell her that you wouldn't tolerate it
Well, I feel or that like she's gonna change, and like we're not gonna have like these outbursts again,
again?
or that like the friendship's gonna be like definitely done.
Is this something she has done with someone else, like all of your other friends?
Well, like um, not necessarily like we have like this other big group of friends, but it's not like we get along with them. But like she's my best friend. Like she'll be at my house every day, or I'll be at her house, and like she's kind of like my person.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that much of a close relationship with our other friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it would also be like a big lifestyle change because I'm losing like my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like it's okay for me to tolerate like her like behavior like that. Like a very childish behavior,
Mm-hmm.
very selfish.
Mm-hmm. But do you think it's a proper reason for you to like end your relationship with her?
Well, like sometimes I feel that yes, because like I shouldn't have to have people like that in my life. But then like other times I just think, and like, is it really worth losing a friend over like kind of very split between like what I think it should be like, or like what my reality actually is.
Mm-hmm. And your parents said something to you about what happened?
Well, my parents were kind of angry, and they were telling me like, okay, like first of all they were asking me like why she didn't come sleep over at the house because her car was outside my house. And I just told my parents, like, no, she decided to stay, like, that's why we're taking so long and everything. And then, like, I was very irritated with my parents because they kept, like, asking, like, what happened, like, what was going on inside, why were you taking so long. And then, like, I got very annoyed and I told my parents, like, everything that happened. And then they got mad at me and they were like, how could you leave her there not knowing what she's gonna do? And I told them, like she's not my responsibility. Like, she's old enough to take care of herself and make her own decisions. And if she knew like she didn't have any way to go home and still decided to stay, like, that's her decision.
And what did your parents say about that?
My parents were like very angry, but I told them, like, she's not your daughter, like I am. Like, you're not responsible for her. And like, you guys would have been even more annoyed if I had you wait like for half an hour outside.
That's something I was going to ask you. So they would prefer to wait for you, or
no? Like, I think my dad would have reached a point like he would have just gone in and be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
We're leaving.
And wouldn't that be better because you would take her?
Well, like, I guess it would be like one thing if it would be me that I'm his daughter and I want to leave and he's like going inside the nightclub and like we're leaving. But you can't really do that, like, with somebody that's not your child. And plus, like, what an embarrassment for me, like, for everybody that I know to see my dad go inside the nightclub and, like, be taking my friends out, like.
Yeah, that's true. But then you said that her car was at your house.
Yeah.
She went to see the car?
Yeah.
On Saturday or Sunday?
On Saturday.
Okay,
we
but
were still not talking.
Okay, so then she wrote to you, like she spoke to you.
Like, this was like Friday, and I went out like on Friday afternoon with some other friends, and when I got back home, she had already gone to my house to pick up her car, and then like on Sunday morning, she texted me like this really big apology.
Okay, and how do you feel about this going on?
Well, like, I just feel like part of me is like very relieved because like I don't want this kind of things in my life, but the other part of me is like very sad and very like I'm very conflicted because like she's my person, the one that I share a lot of things with, like my best friend who knows like absolutely everything and is the first person I would call if I have a problem. Whereas like, could I not maintain a relationship with somebody that has this attitude throughout the years,
So she has had this attitude too.
Yeah, like when she gets drunk, she gets very stubborn, and it's like really hard to deal with her, And normally I don't really care because I'm also drunk, so it's like haha. But like specifically last weekend, like I wasn't drunk, so I got to see the full flare of how she is when she's drunk, and very unmanageable. And I just really started thinking like, is this something that I want to deal with? Because ultimately it's kind of responsibility wise, like if my friend gets drunk, I'm gonna take care of her,
So you've never talked to her about this, right? Because you've never seen her that way.
Yeah, like
entirely.
I've seen her, but it's always like been really funny. But this is the first time like I saw it like firsthand sober. So like I feel like I wouldn't even know where to begin with that conversation.
But have your other friends or someone else told you like she's this way when she's drunk or something?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, everybody's kind of annoying, when they're drunk and whatever. Like, leave my friend alone. Like, very defensive towards her. But now, like, I don't think I can do that again. Like, I think like my view on that situation has like drastically changed.
Okay. Well, let's take this to another session. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.